Tuesday, Power Up G. Let's start with our name. This is for lesson 58. It's on page 366. We got our power up with the remainders. How many times does 2 go into 7? 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract remainder 1. 16 divided by 3 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. Subtract remainder 1. 15 divided by 4 is 3. 3 times 4. Excuse my yawn. 12. Subtract remainder 3. 5 goes into 28. 5 times 5 is 25. Subtract remainder 3. How many times does 4 go into 21? 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract remainder 1. 15 divided by 6 equals 2. 2 times 6 is 12. Subtract, you get 3. Remainder 3. 20 divided by 8 is 2. 2 times 8 is 16. Subtract, you get 4. Remainder 4. How many times 2 go into 15? 7 times. 7 times 2 is 14. Subtract, remainder 1. 43 divided by 5 equals 8. 8 times 5 is 40. Subtract, remainder 3. How many times does 3 go into 20? 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. Subtract, remainder 2. How many times 6 go into 27? 4 times equals 24. Subtract, remainder 3. How many times does 3 go into 25? Think 24. 8 times 3 is 24. Subtract, remainder 1. How many times does 2 go into 17? 8 times. 8 times 2 is 16. Subtract, remainder 1. 3 goes into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract, remainder 1. How many times does 7 go into 30? 4 times. 4 times 7 is 28. Subtract, remainder 2. How many times does 8 go into 25? 3 times. 3 times 8 is 24. Subtract, remainder 1. How many times does 3 go into 8? 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract, remainder 2. How many times does 4 go into 30? 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract, remainder 2. How many times does 5 go into 32? 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract, remainder 2. And how many times does 7 go into 50? 7 times is 49. Subtract, remainder 1. Alright, let's move on. Mental math section. Show all your work. Round 18 and 5/8 to the nearest inch. Cross out the 8, divide in half, you get a 4. 5 is more, so you're going to round up to 19 inches. (12 3/8). 12 3/8. You're going to go ahead and divide the denominator in half. You get a 4, and 3 is less than 4, so you're going to stay at 12 inches. C says round 4 and 1/16 to the nearest inch. That's pretty easy. We cut that in half. 8. 1 is way less, so you're going to stay at 4 inches. D said, how much is 800 divided by 10 divided by 20 divided by 40? So we got 3 problems here. 800 divided by 10. 10 goes into 80 8 times. 10 goes into 0 0 times. So your first answer of 3 is 80. Now you got 800 divided by 20. Cross it, cover up the zeros. How many times does 2 go into 8? 4 times. How many times does 20 go into 80? 4 times. 4 times 20 is 80. Subtract, you get 0, 40. And then the last one is how many times does 40 go into 800? 4 goes into 8 2 times. 2 times 4 is 80. How many times 40 goes 0, 0, and that's 20. E, 50% of 800. When I say 50%, you say 1/2 of 800. In other words, you're going to take 800 and divide by the bottom number. How many times does 2 go into 8? 4 times. How many times does 2 go into 0 and 0? 0 times. 400. Half of $800 is $400. All right, F, we're going back to our box, whole numbers over whole numbers, fractions over fractions. 1/2 plus 1/2, add the numerators, keep the denominators, equals 2 over 2, which equals 1 whole, regroup that 1 whole. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. G says 1 pound equals 16 ounces Vanessa, but 1.5 pounds bananas. How many ounces did the bananas weigh? So you got 1 pound equals 16, and now you got 1/2 of 16. And so you can divide by the bottom number. 16 divided by 2 equals 8. So the 1 pound equals 16, and the 1/2 a pound equals 8. And then you're going to add those together to equal 24 ounces. And H. What? They don't give us the big long one like they normally do. Okay. Myra spends 1/3 of a 24-hour day sleeping. How many hours does she sleep? Divide by the bottom number, multiply by the top. 24 divided by 3 equals 8. That's pretty good. 8 hours of sleep. Kids your age, if you want to grow to be as tall as you can, you should probably get 9 to 10 hours of sleep. It really helps you when you rest your body to grow. All right, well, problem solving, problem of the day. It says, choose an appropriate problem solving strategy to solve this problem. Audra purchased 2 books at the school book fair, a mystery novel and a science fiction novel. The length of the mystery novel was 192 pages, and the length of the science fiction novels was 128 pages. Audra read 32 pages each day. Assuming she finished one book before starting the other, how much longer did it take Audra to read the mystery novel than the science fiction novel? 32 pages per day. And so what we're going to actually do is we're going to take 192 divided by 32. Now, that's really strange that they asked us this question because we have not gotten this far yet. But what you're going to do is you're going to actually think of 32 as 30. And how many times does 3 go into 19? Well, we know that 3 goes into 18 6 times. So let's try 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Carry what? It's too much. Let's try 5. 5 times 2 is 10, 0 down, 1 up. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Ugh. I put the 5 in the wrong spot. 6 times, I think we were right with 6. 6 times 2 is 12, 2 down, 1 up. And 6 times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19. So this took her 6 days. Now we got a 128 divided by 32. How many times does 3 go into 12? 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times 3 is 12. How many days? 4 days. And now we got 6 days minus 4 days gives us a total of 2 days. That was a hard one, guys. Sorry about that. All right, flip this over. Go ahead and divide your paper into 6. We're going to take our new concept, writing quotients with mixed numbers, in our next video.